Okay. Well, for everybody in the room, there's food provided. We'll talk about that. So we'll grab food, take a seat. For those that are virtual, grab your own food because that's what you did. Since there's technical difficulties, one, I'm getting on with Zoom to begin with, and then two, for Michael hearing me, we're going to make Michael talk the whole time, which he's really good at. So, and then we'll do Q&A. Yes, come on. We'll do Q&A from that. So. The issues. He can't hear me, right?
I've got you now, James. I'd give you like a 6 out of 10. I'm good on sound. We can banter.
Thank you. So 7 levels. To get a hand raise. Who person has read the book? If you've read the book, raise your hand. Nobody online. Thank you. The author. Wow, we got real candidates for you. A lot of newbies to this book. We have a book here that I bought. Unfortunately, Michael, he did not give me a free book. That's okay, Michael. I still want it. But on Amazon,
never give.
We're going to do a fun giveaway today about the book where we do and everything else. But since we started late, I just want you guys to hear from Michael, not from me. This is a great book. I did tell 2 of our people. So, Michael, before you start, I want to hear from Cameron and then from Keith. Since you've read the book before, a principle or a key aspect that you love from the book. No, we're not stealing Michael's thunder. He has plenty to talk about. But go ahead, Cameron.
Retracing the tree is a way to stay calm and then also let people know not only are you in the state, but you're doing well in it, especially with the people that they hand over to you, making sure they get stuff in.
Yeah, and in case you're taking notes, I highly recommend it, whether it's on your phone or a journal. Retracing the tree. We'll make Michael teach that principle today because it's probably one of the more powerful ones from this book. Absolutely. I'm not putting you on the spot. Have you done retracing the tree? You remember that from the book? Yeah, I'm not putting you on the spot. Moving on. Keith, I'm putting you on the spot.
It was only one sentence in the book, so if they don't remember it, that's not on them. The fact that one guy got it is pretty amazing.
That's funny.
We do.
That's the most powerful. Yeah. I think that's the most powerful thing from the book.
It is.
I'm just saying, and it was only one sentence.
One sentence. It's when Rick and Dawn are meeting towards the end, and it's just literally like one sentence. But the Great Retrace is one of 100 strategies in the book, and teaching the Great Retrace, I mean, it's 7 levels deep. I could teach it for 7 days. It's an extremely powerful strategy about building out your network with the people who refer you most.
Great retrace is the technical term. You don't call it retracing the tree? Is that?
I use when I teach it and train it, I use a referral tree as the image, but I call it the Great Retrace because you're really tracing back.
Yeah, so we branded it, and we're about to write our own book, and it's retracing the tree. We're really excited about it. It's a new concept. No one's ever thought of it.
Yeah.
Keith, go ahead.
I like the part where Michael talks about the generosity generation and how to come approach your business and with your relationships of how can I help and not what can they do for me, but how can I help them? So you eventually you build deeper relationships that way.
I love that. Yeah, did you hear the Michael generosity generation?
Yeah. Evolving from the ego era to the generosity generation. And it wasn't necessarily like I was reacting to the consumer. The consumer is the one that changed first. They saw, I mean, for a long time, we're number one, we're the biggest, we're the baddest, we're the best was kind of the mantra. And then the public started distrusting people who said that they're number one because everybody was saying that they were number one, and you could buy awards. So like the J.M. Porter Award and all these different, the Good Housekeeping Award, the Better Business Bureau A+ Award, you could buy them. And so the public no longer trusted this whole industry that was built on being the biggest, the baddest, and the best. And they really flipped from the ego era to this generosity generation, which is more, instead of with the ego era, which was find me, sell me, the generosity generation is hear me, help me. And instead of we're number one as being the slogan of the era, now we have we're here to help is the slogan of the era. And the thing is that is us. That's the consumer today. It's like just, hey, hear me. And social media was a blossom from the whole hear me part of the hear me, help me. And then it's the help me is, don't try to sell me, but help me. See how you can help me. And sometimes we get paid to help them, which is just like selling. But other times they're just like, help me. And if you're not the one to help me, refer me or send me to someone who can help me. So the consumer changed. And then I noticed that in like 2003, 4, and 5. And then I changed everything about my marketing. We went from we're number one, this and that. And my brother said, haha, you and 6,580 other realtors in Kansas City. Right.
Down 1%, down 1%.
Yeah. And he's an attorney. So that tells you a lot about him. So the other thing too is so we went to the slogan of we're not number one, you are. And everything we did was customer centric. And from the customer's perspective, we literally changed the entire paradigm of our team as to units. And we used to like show a thermometer about our 300 units. And we quit doing all of that. And we really just focused on our customers and telling the stories of our clients. And that changed everything. We blew up. Like we very quickly had a referral based business that was 90 to 95% of our business, and we were doing 500 to 1,000 referrals a year.
Love it. Well, since we're starting late, I just want to jump right in. I'll give you the mic, which I rarely do. Michael's personal friend. Without taking up too much time, do you want to give him your marathon story? I love that story.
I can tell part of it, yeah. A part of it has been deleted from my brain due to PTSD. But so I will tell this story very quickly because it does actually play into 7L and stories like it. So James told me at one of our events that we went to, James and Brad Korn and I used to go to a lot of real estate conferences, and we are absolutely sponges when it comes to knowledge. And I think today is a great example of James as a leader. He's a growth-oriented leader, which is the type of leader you want to follow, unless he asked you to do a marathon.
Yeah.
So he asked me to do a marathon, and I had about 6 months to train for it. I got busy. I didn't do much training for it. Little did I know that you should train for a marathon. So, man, I could tell like the whole story. Like it's coming back to me, and I'm having shivers and I'm having conniptions. So I did everything wrong. I did everything wrong, and it snowed in DC the day before the marathon, and it was colder than Blitzen, right? So the night before, I got a massage. Do you know the number one thing you should do for a marathon is train. Number 2 is don't ever do a massage the day before, because you will still have some of the oil on you, no matter how many baths, showers, towel, like no matter how much, which if you know oil and running, they don't go together very well because they cause blisters, right? So I'm going to preface with that. So then the race starts at 8:30, but you couldn't get anywhere close to it. So we were going to park like not so close. And so I was like, man, I'm staying at a hotel. They have a Starbucks. And I've run 5Ks before, and I always had a Starbucks and a sandwich before. All right. So I'm fired up. Like we're getting picked up at 6:30. Supposedly the Starbucks is going to open at 6. I've got time to take another shower and just like relax a little bit. And then I get down there at 6, and they're like, yeah, the Starbucks doesn't open till 7. So no breakfast, no food. And so I get picked up at 6:30. Now, here's the thing you don't want to do. You guys realize that a marathon is 26.2 miles, right? Nobody's driving you. There's no bicycle. There's no scooter. There's no skateboard. I would have settled for roller skates. We park 3.5 miles away. This is before the race, people. And here's what's really crazy. We're 3.5 miles away and we have to hustle, which is like running for me, right? So we are walking our butts off fast. And I go, James, man, I haven't eaten. Like, this is going to be so much fun. And so he gives me an apple. I just want you to know that James is a man of action. And so he gave me an apple. So I'm literally eating an apple on the way while we're sprinting 3.5 miles to get to the beginning. And then James pops this on me. Hey, I just want to let you know that if you don't beat the bridge, which is at mile 22, if you don't beat, because they'll open the bridge, like they have to open the bridge, so they have to cut, like they end up putting you on a bus that is called the slacker bus. And they bus you to the finish and you don't get a medal and you don't get to complete the marathon, which I'm like, okay, but I'm doing the mental math on the time he gave me, and the time it was going to take for me to run each mile was faster than I had ever run before. So I'm like, that's not worrisome at all. But I had a strategy, ladies and gentlemen. I had a strategy. And we all know that a strategy can make a difference. So we go up and they have you in cattle bins. There's 30,000 people that are running this race. They have 30,000 people in a cattle bin. So it's like they're basically in 50-person cattle bins. Was I going to run with James and Kristen Cole and these people that were, oh, heck no. Like, here was my strategy. I was going to go all the way to the front. So I'm like sneaking into the cattle bin. Now, the first 20 cattle bins were easy. Like, they didn't care where you were. Then I'm getting up the front, and it's like the Nigerians, and you know what I'm saying? I mean, they're in shorts that are way too short and a tank top, and it's 35 degrees. And that's a really interesting part of the story, too, because I'm in 4 layers because it's 30 degrees. I've got heavy sweats, light sweats. I've got a long sleeve undershirt, a t-shirt, a long sleeve shirt, and then a hoodie. I'm like, I look like freaking, what's that? The Michelin Man, like running up to the, and so I skip for, I'm next to Drew Carey, who was the honorary captain of the marathon. Literally, I actually talked to him. I go, man, you look great. He goes, yeah, I've lost like 150 pounds. Do you guys remember when Drew Carey lost all that weight? And he actually ran the marathon that day, I think, right? I mean, I know he started it. But so I'm at the front. I look like the damn Michelin Man next to all these super skinny, like ready to run, like athletes. And I am an athlete. I just don't look necessarily like that. I don't look like a marathon athlete. So what's funny is so now you got to realize I have to beat the bus because they're going to have to kill me to get on the slacker bus. No, I mean, like I had images of me like running where while the Washington Bridge, I'm running and I'm jumping, like I have that image. And so I start first, people. I was first in the Marine Corps Marathon. I was for several steps. I literally, no doubt, me and Drew Carey, I'm like laughing, running, like, this is all right, man. I'm going to make it. I was pretty fresh. So we ran about 100 yards and I'm like, oh God, this is not going to go well. So I hadn't eaten and the first thing that's so funny is so now I'm sweating. So what do I do with my clothes? We had all this planned with my wife to like meet me at certain miles. Well, we had a newborn baby. His name was Max. And she had a tricycle, what are those called? The
Scooter.
well, the kid goes in. What's the thing the kid goes in? What do you push a kid in?
Stroller, a stroller.
Stroller. 3-wheel.
Good job.
We had this
Stroller.
Mac Daddy 3-wheel stroller. But
Yeah,
we
John.
put it on the plane. And when we put it on the plane, the tire bust. So she couldn't use it. So she's carrying the baby around. So, which is just not good, right? So she couldn't meet me at any of the places we're going to meet. So I'm just shedding clothes, right? I don't care. Like, I'll come back and get it. Like, no way I was going to ever come back and get it. I just like, all right. But man, that hoodie, I do miss that hoodie. But so I'm running and I'm literally like a mile in and I'm like, this is not going to be good. And I will tell you, to this day, I used to run pretty fast. I ran the 800 and the mile in high school and did very, very well. And so I always jogged pretty fast. But I went into marathon mode. Like that's a jog slightly more than a trudge, right? It's not going very fast. So, and I still have the ability to get into that jog very quickly today. I just throwing that out for everybody. So I'm trudging and I start like my I'm wondering about my feet, right? Because it's it's still got the oil from the massage and it's just bugging the crap out of me. I get to mile 16, I finally meet up with Sherry. And oh, I forgot to tell you this part too. I love to run with music on. How many of you guys have ever run? Like I've actually run Saturday, Sunday, and Monday of this week, and I'm going to run today. So why do we like to enjoy listening to music while we run? Do you guys like to enjoy listening to music while you run? Why is that? The reason I like to is so that I don't hear myself breathing hard. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm literally like, I don't want to hear myself dying, like as I'm running. So I'm like also prepared. I've got those little minis. Remember the mini from Apple? Like it literally was this big and you just push the button and it plays the music. So at mile 6, or I'm sorry, at the first mile, the battery dies. So now I've got no music. I've got nothing, right? And so at mile 16, I give her the little mini, whatever that was, and I go, I have no music. And then I gave her the rest of my clothes other than my t-shirt, shorts. And then I had to take off my socks because uh, they're a bloody mess. I mean, not to say. So luckily we had, right, because James prepares us for these marathons. We had a backup pair of socks. So I put the backup pair of socks on at mile 16. And I first of all had to admit defeat to my like 1-year-old kid. I was like, I just want you guys to know that there's probably no way I'm going to beat the bus. Right. And I'm almost crying because it's like, this is really my son's first opportunity to see me in an athletic performance. Right. And he's like, my dad's a freaking quitter. This is awesome. So anyway, I was just like, Sherry, I just don't know if I got it in me. So mile 18, 19. Now we're drawing, it's DC, right? Now we're on the square. Now we're like by the monuments. I get a little bit of a second wind at mile 17 and 18, 19. And so I'm trudging and I'm moving. But I kind of at mile like 20, I start seeing I'm getting past like a lot more than normal. And I'm like, okay, that's kind of funky, right? And so at mile 21, I look to my left and it's the slacker bus is passing me on the left. And I thought, oh, well, okay. I mean, there's going to be people that are going to need to get on that. Well, like 10 slacker buses passed me. They're passing me on the left. And these people next to me are like running faster. Like same motivation I had, right? They don't want to, if the slacker bus gets to the front, you're getting on the slacker bus and you're not finishing the marathon. So I turn the corner to start going to the last of the mile 21 to mile 22. And I turn the corner and there's all the slacker buses parked on the left and they're starting to load people on it. Okay. I just want you to know something, that I went back and they show your mile splits for every single mile that you run during the marathon. My fastest mile was mile 21. in a marathon. That never happens, right? Never happens ever. Usually it's mile 1, 2, or 3 or 4, but mile 21 to 22. And here's the thing: you have to imagine everybody knows this slacker bus thing. I didn't know it until the day of, but there are all these people basically smoking pot and drinking, and they had a radio that they were playing songs. And I am not lying to you. They were playing the Chariots of Fire theme song while I was running. And they were like, go, buddy, go, buddy. I think you're going to make it. You might make it. So I've got 500 people cheering for me to make the slacker or make the bridge. And I get it. I get it. And lo and behold, I turn around and they're like, you made it. There was a sign that just said, you made it. And I stopped. I literally stopped. What? And I'm gonna be honest with you. I typed a text message to James, and I just typed it, and I was like, James, I made it, and I'll be in after these 4 miles, right? And the thing is, I was crying. I was crying. And what it came out to was like NGH, NLP, right. So I totally typed the wrong stuff to him. And then I typed the same message to Sherry, my wife, and just said, hey, listen, I made the slacker, or I made the bridge. I beat the bridge. And then I made the last 4 miles. And here's what's great about the Marine Corps Marathon is it's not enough just to run 26.2 miles. The last 1.2 miles is the Mount of Iwo Jima, which is literally straight uphill and around the corner and through a trail. And then you finish in a little like chute. So that was fun to finish a marathon going straight uphill. It wasn't fun. And so I got done. They put the medal on me, and I felt pretty good about that. And then I wanted to kill James Nellis. So that's the Marine Corps Marathon, and it's just one of those where it's like beat the bridge, right? Beat the bridge. What's your bridge, and where do you need? And maybe right now the market is your bridge, right? Maybe it's the market is slower for some of you. Maybe it's the lead generation that's a little slower. Maybe it's your health. Maybe it's your family. Maybe it's a mom that's sick or whatever it is. But like just keep moving forward, and the reward is in the end. So that's my beat the bridge story.
Love it. And congratulations for finishing, beating the bridge. He was speaking, and I put him on the spot. I don't mind telling you that, at Tyson's Corner. And I was like, and Michael, who's never on your on board, has been studying because he's been defeating cancer. And so, so let's thank you for that. Hilarious. By the way, we were because he didn't he never worked. So we tried at the beginning of the race, like every.
Are you guys having trouble hearing him?
Well,
Okay, good.
because you should be in no one can the front of the game like that. And then we all finish. Even at dinner. And there's that genuine. Okay, so anyway, but this is not about the story. I love to tie in the beat. You can tell he's a great speaker. To tie into what's the bridge in your life, and let's focus on the book, and let's give them 3 or 4 key takeaways that you think. How many years ago did you read? You should know that.
James, I think it's best when you're speaking this way.
Okay.
There you go. Yeah. So when you turn to face the audience, we can't hear you.
2014. Is that when you wrote the book? 2014.
Yeah, I wrote the book in 2012 and 2013, and then it released in October of 2013. And then that you have the new edition, right? So that's when I signed with the publisher.
Okay. So since 2014, you've spoken on it for over a decade. Give us what you would consider. These are the 3 or up to 5 key strategies.
Yeah.
And if you implement this, your world's going to be different.
Yeah. The first one is lead with generosity, like give massive value first, which is very counter to what a lot of people teach. A lot of people teach that you need to have your pitch ready, you need to have your presentation ready, you need to have, and instead, I'm a big fan of give massive value first. One great sentence or question that comes out of that, and this comes from 7L, is how do I make this the biggest win for you? How do I make this the biggest win for you? So when you have a listing appointment, when you have a sales appointment, before you even get started and maybe take the conversation where you want to go, is just start with how do I make this meeting the biggest win for you? For a seller, how do I make this move the biggest win for you? For a buyer, how do I make this purchase the biggest win for you? And just listen and hear what they're saying and take note, and don't be afraid to say, okay, and what else? Or what else can we do? Or what else do you see? So how do I make this the biggest win for you? What it does is it reframes the entire conversation. I mean, how else do we start? Right? I mean, we might start by building rapport with something like Frog, which is in 7L, which is a variation of Forward and Form and some of the things other people talk about. But that's the first thing is anytime you go into anything, don't go in looking at what you get. Like that's the thing, like networking. Like you want to go to a networking meeting, don't go in with, I hope I get referrals. Go in with, I wonder who can use my help. I wonder who I can find here to connect with another person I know. I'm going to go in with the spirit of not worrying about what I'm going to get. I'm going to go in with the spirit of generosity. I'm going to lead with generosity. And that's the first thing. And you might think, I mean, that's just going outward. Like that's giving of yourself. That's you're losing, aren't you, when you lead with generosity because you're giving. And here's what I'm going to tell you is that whatever you give, it's going to come back in fivefold, tenfold, 20-fold. And it is. And the thing that we have to be taught, and this probably is a good second piece of the lead with generosity, is that most people who come to me for coaching or whatever it may be, they are generous givers. And I would guess most of you are generous givers. What I have to teach and train to is I have to teach them to be appreciative receivers as well as generous givers. If you're a generous giver and you give and you give and you give and you don't receive, you get exhausted, you get burnt out. And here's what's really sad, you quit giving. And imagine if your identity is that I'm a giver, I'm a servant leader, I'm a giver, and you quit giving because the giving isn't fulfilling, it isn't paying off. That's sad when somebody loses their identity because of, maybe an action that they didn't get. But here's the flip side, right? Is a giver gives and then they give and then they receive. What happens to that giver when a giver receives? What happens?
They give more.
They give more. They're motivated. They're inspired. They light up. They're inspired to go out and give more. And then all of a sudden, you got to realize something about giving and receiving. Giving and receiving are two sides of the same coin. When we breathe, we inhale and we exhale. Inhaling and exhaling are two sides of the same coin. The same thing with giving and receiving. We always need to be giving, but we need to be opportunistic and we need to be open to opportunity. And I will tell you, every single relationship has an opportunity tied to it, every single one. And we need to also be appreciative receivers when that happens and be ready to take it down that path. So bottom line, giving, I always imagine a coin, giving, receiving, on both sides of the coin. And then you've got hearts that are on the edge of the coin. Did you know that a coin has three sides? Did you guys know that? Heads, tails, and the edge, right? So it's the same thing with this coin, is heads would be giving, right? Giving generously. And that's generosity. And just in case you're taking notes mentally, this is straight from 7L. Generosity is love in action. So love in action is generosity. So you want to start with love, start with what you, and the thing is it's a way that you can show people that you love and that you are of love, and it ends up being a positive for both of you. So generosity is love in action. Well, then we have the flip side, which is receiving appreciatively. Appreciation, everyone, is love in reaction. And we need to appreciate everything that comes to us, even the bad. We need to appreciate it. We need to appreciate the people that come into our life, even the bad ones, even the tough ones. I appreciate the marathon. I do, because I know enough to never run one again, right? I've got that knowledge. So, I mean, and it is, I mean, like I have to tell you, I laid in an ice cube tub for almost 2 straight days afterwards to try to recover. So it was, but here's what's really cool. I mean, it's just like how these things work. We were at Tyson's Corner Hotel. The next morning, we were having breakfast down in the restaurant at the hotel, and I was looking over in the corner, and I'm not making this up. There was a young lady who had a copy of 7L. Now, what I mean, like, what are the chances of that at that time were like 1 in a million. And so she was talking to another person. They got to the point where they kind of slowed down. So I went over and I was like, I have to just say, like, that is the most awesome book in the history of books. Like, I rank that right with the Bible, don't you? I mean, don't you? Right? And she was like, yeah, it's a great book. Yeah, I love it. And I'm like, very cool. So what are you doing here? She goes, like, the networking stack. There's a strategy in this book that's called the network. And I go, really? Tell me about it. And she was like, well, instead of just meeting with one person and then going to another meeting or meeting the next day, you actually meet with people back to back to back. And then you're only driving once. You're not going to be late. You know, they're coming to you instead of you going to them. And I go, that's a really, really good explanation. And I just want to let you know that I wrote that book. And she was like, no way, right? And it turned into this big, awesome thing. I ended up signing her book and that kind of thing. But I mean, here's the thing. If I hadn't run the marathon, I wouldn't have stayed. I would have never had that moment. And I would have never, she would have never had that moment. And actually, I kind of probably needed that moment to inspire me to go promote the book even more and go on the road, because going on the road is a tough thing. So, and then the other part of the coin is that on the edge are the hearts, and that's for love. Like love is never ending. That's why we give a ring when we wed, and the love is at the center of all of this. And listen, this isn't singing kumbaya around a campfire. This isn't fluff and stuff. I'm just saying, but this is like tough love. This is strong love. This is this is just you doing the things you love and getting rewarded for it, being generous and being thankful and being prosperous. So I think that's a good start, right?
Love it. So that's Michael to leave time for Q&A. I know some of you have read it, some of you haven't. He's sold thousands of homes. He's coached thousands of people or more than that. This is your perfect time to ask questions about anything that can help your business. Sorry, I'm supposed to face you. To ask questions about anything that can help your business. So whether you're online, store in the chat panel, or unmute yourself, or if you're in the audience, who's got a question? I'm going to get at least 10 questions because he's such an inspiring speaker. So let's have the first. Who's got the first question? Keith.
The parallel talking about the parallel with our business, well, really life, but our business with the marathon story. Trying to like, I want to get here I don't want to miss the bus. I have to get on the bus, and just the struggle and finishing. It feels like sometimes life feels like that. Sometimes business feels like that. So anyway, I feel like it's a great story, but it's a good parallel as well.
So Michael, if the market's tough, if you're beating the bridge as far as the market goes, what are two things that every real estate agent could do today to translate into more business?
Yeah. So one is read 7L. I truly, I mean, here's the thing. When was 7L written? It was written essentially during 2008, 2009, and 2010. Most of you were not in the business then because you were either super intelligent or a lot smarter than I was, or you're too young to be even thinking about a 2008, 2009 market. But the 2008 was the Great Recession, and it was a slow, stiff market. My business actually increased. Referrals increased a ton during 2008 and 2009 because people had to go to somebody they trusted to sell their house or help buy it or run a short sale or do a foreclosure or whatever it may be. So I truly believe like the time has come to reread 7L, which James is leading on this, and I think the timing will be perfect for a lot of you. The other one too is I have to tell you, and I don't go into this as much as I'd like to in 7L, but you need to host an event. You need to host an event. You because what that's going to force you to do is it's going to force you to reach out to your sphere, to the people that you know, to invite them to the event. And that is literally the best reason to reach out to your sphere. You have to realize in today's market, 4 out of your next 5 transactions will come from your sphere of influence. 4 out of 5. So, how do we maximize that? How do we speed that up? Well, more conversations. Well, we could call everybody and say we're just thinking about them. We could call everybody and just like like call, but here's the thing. A great excuse to call is to call them and invite them to an event that you're going to have in 6 to 8 weeks. And then what do you have to do when they say yes, maybe, or no? Well, when they say yes, you've got to communicate with them about the event, where it's at, when it is, how long it is, any updates. If you got sponsors that are joining you, if there's a charity involved, like you have updates, you got to give them with yes and maybe. And then the no's, you're just going to check in on them every 3 weeks or so, and just say, hey, have your plans changed about this event? And then have the event. And what you need to understand is you can invite 300, 400 people, and you're going to get 30 or 40 at the most. But the power is in the conversations. The power is in the invitation. The power is in the communication. So you get all of the communication. And I used a really good example in the book right from the get-go. The second chapter is J. Michael Speaks. And in there, I use a great example that leads to the communication pyramid and why we need to communicate in the top 3 levels of communication, which is phone calls, which includes text messages, and also events. And then at the very highest level, it's one-on-one meetings. And we know that the highest level of business communication is a one-on-one. That's why we do listing presentations and buyer consults and that kind of thing in a one-to-one environment, is because the conversation would totally change if there was just one more party in the room. So the bottom line is I would suggest that you get on the event train and you don't have to do a big event. Micro events are the key. Call your top 25, invite them to come by and get a cup of coffee between 4 and 6 p.m. on some Thursday. And guess what? Only 5 of them are going to come. It's going to cost you $25, or today's world, probably $50, but it's going to cost you whatever it's going to cost you. But you get all of the conversations, you get all of the communication. And then after the event, you're going to communicate with everyone, talking about how great the event was and thank those that came, and tell the others that, hey, listen, I may do this in the future. Is it okay if I invite you to future events? And they go, sure. You just got in 8 weeks or 7 weeks, however long you want to do it. In 7 or 8 weeks, you ended up getting like 12 touches, 12 conversations. And they're all very beneficial. They're glad to hear from you, positive. And by the way, it's generosity, right? You're giving away free coffee to the people who come by. You're giving away a free pie on Thanksgiving. You're giving away free donuts on National Donut Day, which is actually one of the better events to do, because you can say it, by the way, it's June. You could easily do a National Donut Day event. It's the first Friday, I think it's the first Friday, and it's first something in June, June 5th, 6th. And what's cool about it is you can invite everybody, and you can say, I'll buy you a dozen donuts. Well, first of all, on Donut Day, Krispy Kreme, Dunkin' Donuts, they all do discount donuts. But here's the other thing. Did you know when you buy 1 dozen, you get a dozen free? So when they show up, they don't just get a dozen donuts, they get 2 dozen. But here's the really cool thing. Hardly anybody shows up. I mean, that's what's really cool. It doesn't cost you anything. You could invite 4,000 people and you would get like 10 people to come by and get donuts. But what are your conversations? Free donuts. By me. Come get them. So those are the two. I would read 7L, figure out 2 or 3 strategies that align with you and your heart. And then I would do a micro event, a small event for your top 25 to 50 people, period. Like, I can't think of anything better.
Love it. Question, Jenny?
So with the micro events, they don't have to have a purpose or like an education or something.
Oh man, did you read The Art of Gathering? The old purpose question, right? I mean, so here I'm gonna bottom line it. The purpose is fun.
Yeah.
The purpose is fun, right? So I'm not talking about home buyer seminars or
Yeah.
staging seminars or downsizing 55 plus seminars. The purpose is fun. So we had 1,542 people signed up for Event Mastery starting in March. So, and week by week, I'm holding their hand and helping them throw an event. And their events are either a Mother's Day event or a Cinco de Mayo event. Most of them are doing a Cinco de Mayo event, but they're doing it on Dos de Mayo, which is a Saturday, or Uno de Mayo, right? And they're doing a margarita mix and mingle, or they're doing something kind of tied to Cinco de Mayo. Well, you got to realize those are just fun, right? Those are fun events. So the key is you're looking for something that is fun for your sphere. So that's the purpose. I'm gonna take the whole, like, by the way, a really good book about events is called The Art of Gathering by Priya Parker. But it just does talk in there a lot about, in fact, she spends 3 chapters on the purpose of the event. And it's one of those where I understand that we feel like we need to have this purpose, but the way we run events is the purpose of the event is to have a fun, profitable, charitable, referral generating event. And when you take Event Mastery, referrals are guaranteed. You are guaranteed to get at least 1 referral, or you can take Event Mastery for free the next time. So it's one of those where, like, we're going to guarantee you get referrals. So those are actually the reasons for the event, but they're not the public reasons. The public reasons are, we just want to be generous, we want to have fun, and we hope you stop by.
That's good.
Great question.
Well, and to quarter or piggyback on that, if you're doing a big annual event, that's when usually people bring in 1 or 2 charities and, hey, backpacks for kids going back to school, those type of things. So it's easy to add on to an event, charitable, and Michael teaches that as well. So that's a fun add-on for any of the main charities you're supporting. So that's a great question. And it could be as simple as like a yappy yap, right? So for the fur babies, you have a local park. It's funny, I think people spend $5,000 plus on that event. And I can just go to a local park, buy 3 boxes of pizzas, right? And then typically in a park you can't have alcohol, but like seltzer water with them. And it costs less than $100. So like, don't overthink it. Like, it's simple, make it micro events. If you region and there's more than one of you, We've done the donut day before, where we've been in different areas of the DMV for the same day. So it's a reminder to your clients that you still them. Right? So, one of us. Let's grab somebody. Mallory, I'm gonna put you on the spot. Give Michael a question that he can respond to. Instead of she's frozen. Or Alex.
Oh, there is chat. Oh,
Did they put it in the chat?
Yeah, so there's no question in the chat, but yeah. Some really good comments in the chat, though. Can't wait to share those with you, James.
There you go. Love it. Love it.
Definitely need some reference and context to those.
Very wildfire right now. So I'll ask you this question. So you mentioned a couple different events. Let's say I've never done an event. Give me the 3 events, because I believe that's your rule, right? You should never do more than 3 events a year. I can speak
Yeah.
for you. So if I'm planning 2 events and I'm only gonna do 3 this year.
Yeah.
Best return events.
All right. So I'm going to hedge on that. When I teach event mastery, I teach an operating system. So the operating system is you can lay any event on top of event mastery, and it will be fun, profitable, charitable, and referral generating. So that's the first thing. And so I would say, James, you're asking the wrong person about this event, unless you're doing an event for top realtors around the country. Then maybe I'm coming, right? But the very first thing that we talk about and teach when it comes to events is the who, right? Rather than the why and the purpose. The why is fun. So make sure it's fun. And James, that's probably the most straightforward answer to your question is fun. The next part of this is the who. So here's exactly how I teach it is I want you to write down your top 25 friends, not like clients, not like just who are the top 25 people you know in your life. And then I want you to call them. I want you to call them, and we're going to do what's called the VIP survey play. So the survey play, in fact, I would love to model this with somebody that's already on the Zoom, and let's see if you guys can hear it as well as I can, James, so do I have a volunteer from the people that are here on Zoom, like in front of me here? Like is it Magali or Magali? How do you pronounce your first name?
It's Magali.
Magali. All right, see, I got it wrong both ways. So Magali, do you mind just going through this with me?
Sure.
All right. So I texted you and you say, hey, do you have a couple minutes? And you said, sure. And I said, call me. So you called me. So you go first. You say ring, ring.
Hey, Michael. Oh, ring,
Hey,
ring.
yeah, all good. It's Magali, right?
Correct. Yes.
Okay. So, hey, Magali, this is Michael. And hey, listen, I know you're super busy and I've got a couple of minutes here and I just wanted to make sure you had a couple minutes. Do you have a couple minutes real quick just to talk about something?
I do. Yes.
Awesome. Thank you. Well, here's the thing is I'm thinking about doing an event. And I always appreciate your advice and your thoughts. And I know you've been around your area for a long time and you know your area really well. Would you mind giving me some advice and maybe helping me with this event?
Sure. I'd love to.
Yeah, great. So the first thing is coffee, beer, or wine. If we were doing like an evening event, like 4 to 6, 5 to 7, 6 to 8, what would you prefer, coffee, beer, or wine?
I would prefer coffee.
Okay, so a coffee event. So now, which day makes this most sense? Would it be a Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday that makes sense for this pick me up? I don't necessarily want to do it on a Monday or Tuesday, just I think it's too early in the week. But Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday, which is kind of the better day to have like this coffee event?
Are you asking just for me personally, or are you
Yeah, absolutely. I
from
don't care
me?
about anybody else. It basically me and you having coffee. So
Thursday would work best because we've got
yeah,
soccer on the other nights.
you know what? I actually have talked to 2 or 3 people today, and guess what? Thursday seems to be the best day as well. So that's pretty cool. So what about time? Like 4 to 6, 5 to 7, or 6 to 8? Which makes the most sense for like a pick me up coffee type of event?
5 to 7 would work right. We're flexible. 5 to 7 would be pretty good though.
Okay, somewhere around 5 to 7. I love that. And then I'm thinking about maybe having other people join me on this who would help offset the cost for the coffee and be like a sponsor partner with this. Is there somebody that you know that might be a good sponsor for this event and maybe split the cost with me?
Yeah, definitely. Actually, we could help out.
Yeah, what do you do?
Working real estate. Well, are we part of your? Am I part of your top 25 friends?
You are right
We're like
now. Let's
close.
go.
You're
You're my
Um,
top friend. You're actually number one on my list right now. Remember, we're not number one. You are, Magali.
yes. Yeah. So Mike and I are still in real estate.
Okay. So you know what? We're always looking for real estate partners. I think that'd be terrific. And are there others in the real estate realm that might be great sponsor partners for this?
For sure. Yeah, I can think of a couple right off the top of my head.
Is there a mortgage company you use?
Yeah, actually, Alex is great. I think you should chat with him.
All right. And so a warranty company, do you use warranties?
Yes.
Okay, so maybe a warranty company and then maybe an insurance agent. You have an insurance agent that might be one to jump in?
Yeah, Mike also would be great in Virginia Beach.
Awesome. Do you mind maybe just doing a three-way text and connecting me to them just to explain what this event's about and everything?
I'd be happy to. I know that works really well for our clients.
That's awesome. And all right, so charity. So I want to partner with a charity on this event. When people come to get the coffee, I'm going to do a thing where like they bring a blanket or they bring a canned good or they bring something with them. Is there a charity that you support and that you really promote?
Our local food bank, yep, so that would partner well.
So canned foods,
Yes.
do you have a contact down there that you know?
Yeah, I sure do.
That's awesome. I would love a three-way text there and we're knocking this out today.
I know.
So this has been awesome. I really appreciate it. And here's the other thing is when we do the event, would you mind maybe doing a role? Would you mind being like a greeter or somebody to help up with the event at all? You don't have to necessarily, but I'd love to. I mean, I think you'd make a great greeter. You're smiley, you're professional, you're happy. Like I think people would be great. It'd be a great way to meet a lot of people.
Yeah, no, I would appreciate that. What about I have two teenage boys. Would that be okay if we did it like as a family thing?
Are they caffeinated? Like, what are they like when they're caffeinated? Are they mean caffeinated? Or are they happy caffeinated? Or what do they act like when they're caffeinated?
No coffee. They're gonna
Oh,
have
sweet
a fruity
Jesus.
drink.
That's awesome. That's what I was really looking for here. So I'm glad that no, they are more than welcome to come. And you know what? Like it sounds like they might be perfect for setup and cleanup.
There you go.
Right? So that'd be awesome. I would love to get them involved. Right. And here's the thing is sometimes with a teenager, they don't know what to do at an adult event. You know, they might be standing. I'll give them maybe a small duty so that they have a role so that they feel more comfortable being at the event. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Yep.
Yeah.
Love to
That's awesome. Well, I definitely appreciate it. And I'll let you know if I actually do the event, but it sounds like a Thursday, 5 to 7. Oh, let me ask you this. Where should we do it? Like, what's a good venue that you know of that maybe has a private room as part of the coffee shop, or, is a coffee shop that you like to go to? I prefer locally owned if you know one, but I'm willing to do it at a Starbucks or Dunkin' Donuts too.
Yeah, no, there's a Sweet Beans coffee shop right here in Pocosin. It's actually a really great laid back setup and they have exactly the space that you're looking for. I think that might be an option for you to check out.
And it's called Sweet Bean.
Sweet Beans, yes.
Sweet Bean. Magali, you have a new nickname. No, I'm just kidding. So that's awesome. I appreciate that. Well, once again, I said that I had a couple minutes and I know you're super busy too. I just want to let you know I really appreciate your time and thanks for letting me know all your answers on this event. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Michael. Look forward to hearing how that goes for you.
Yeah, thanks. And click. So I'm going to ask Magali real quick is how did that feel?
So putting myself in the shoes of like one of your top 25 close people, it felt completely fine. Like I'm here to help you, just like I'm sure you helped me in the past. And look forward to catching back up with you. If I didn't know you all that well, it might have been like a little bit much different
Yeah,
response.
and maybe I wouldn't have gone so far so fast anyway, right? In a conversation. But here's what I mean, I have to tell you, I've had it where a person that was like a past client I hadn't connected with for like a year or so, like they were profusely appreciative that I wanted their advice. You know what I mean? So you
I
make
think
some great, yeah.
that's what made it different too. It was you're more in the like brainstorming phase, so it didn't feel like it's for sure happening. Here's what I need from you, kind of thing. It was more like brainstorming together.
Yeah, yeah. And so you could actually do 100 of those phone calls and never do the event. I just want you guys all to know that. Like, you don't have to actually do an event, right? Now, let's say we do the event, right? Oh, well, let's break this down first. What did you guys get from that conversation? Aziz, did you have something to add to that? I thought you raised your hand, but I'm not sure.
I actually gave an applause.
Oh, you were giving applause. Okay.
Yes, you guys did a great job as far as the role play. As far as what you learned, kind of sort of went into the Ford stuff without formally doing it, figuring out sort of what their preferences were as far as entertainment and recreation, and you even found out that she likes doing things with her entire family as far as charitable work. So you know that she's a charitable person herself, and then she models that for her family. And she supports local businesses um, because you suggested it, and she went right along with it. So you actually learn a great deal about the person without asking the traditional questions that we do.
Yeah, and I also became really, really informed, didn't I? Like, I literally know the perfect. I mean, this is like Clue. Do you guys remember the game Clue, where you're like, it's like Colonel Mustard with the candlestick in the library, right? Do you guys remember? That's what I feel like. This is with Magali. It is going to be Sweet Bean 5 to 7 on Thursday. And we're going to have the local food bank as the sponsor, and we're going to have her insurance agent and her lender and her warranty company as co-sponsors, and maybe even her and her husband, Mike, whoever Mike was, right? And as sponsors for this event, right? And listen, that was my first call. Imagine 25 of those calls. So,
Yeah. Love it.
we call that the VIP survey play, right? Take a VIP and survey them and then get their information. And just so you know, you might think, well, here's the problem with the Frog or the Ford or some of the other things that are taught is you can really only do those once. You can kind of do it, and then if you were trying to do it the next week, it wouldn't even make sense. But with the event, you're just giving them, I mean, the next week I call Magali and I go, hey, listen, I just want to let you know we are doing Thursday. We are doing 4 to 6, which does fit your 5 to 7 p.m. And we decided on, I did go by the Sweet Bean, bought coffee there. It was very good. It's just a little small for what we're going to do with our event, but I wanted to let you know I do now have a new coffee shop on my list to stop by, especially for those afternoon pickups. But I wanted to let you know I really appreciated the charity link. And guess what? We are going to have your charity be the one for this event, and we're going to have everybody bring canned goods for that, right?
Talk about like an amazing follow-up call. That just makes the person feel really good.
Yeah. And that's,
What was that?
I think I can't, I didn't hear you, James. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying, it's a perfect time at the end to make sure that everybody shows up, because Maggie's not gonna either show up or prove really bad. She doesn't. And one plus, so there's a couple of next level things that Michael did, which is not only is Magley coming, but she's also what?
Your family.
Well, before that, so now she's gonna get to have other parents that agree.
James, you are making awesome points, and we can't hear you, dude. I mean, you were nailing it. So I want you to, can you repeat what you just said?
How about now?
Oh yeah, yep. Okay.
Okay, so we were just sharing how you one plus everything, right? So now Maggie is a greeter, right? Volunteer greeter. I thought that was awesome. How you all involved her into it, and then she's bringing her sons to help with cleanup and setup. And it's one of the beautiful things where you have that active conversation. I'm sure you end up with 5 readers if you call 25 people.
That's right.
So,
Right.
we're at the conclusion of it. One last piece of information you'd give to everybody, what would that be?
Didn't hear the question.
One last thing you would give to everyone,
Oh,
as we close out.
all right. So everybody here is going to read 7L. Is that correct, James? Man, I hate to even, I'm going to give this to you.
Yes,
But-
it will.
It may run it for the first time readers. I hope not. After you read it, I have a challenge for you. Go back and read the first chapter, The Lunch of a Lifetime. That's all I'm going to say. So go
Once in
back
a
and read.
lifetime.
You're going to notice that Michelle uses over a dozen strategies on Rick that you didn't even know were strategies until you finish the book.
Awesome.
That's where,
All right, you
oh, there's a
may-
lot of Easter eggs in the book too. James Nellis is in the book.
Appreciate you.
Thanks, everybody. I appreciate it. Let me know if I can do anything. I'm here to help.
Thank you.
Thanks, Magali. I do appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks for playing. Yeah. Thanks, everybody.
Michael,
Thank
if
you.
did you want my context?
No, all good. I knew what you were saying.
All right, have a
Yeah,
good one.
your guys
Thank
are
you.
good. All right. See you, everybody.